My work is loving the world. Here the sunflowers, there the hummingbird, equal seekers of sweetness. Are my boots old? Is my coat torn? Am I no longer young and still not half perfect? But let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which is mostly standing still and learning to be astonished, which is mostly rejoicing, since all the ingredients are here, which is gratitude, to be given a mind and a heart and these body clothes, a mouth with which to give shouts of joy to the moth and the wren, telling them all over and over how it is that really we live forever. So let's take a few moments of quiet to reflect on her words of gratitude and joy and the work of the world. Well, thank you again for being here today. Congratulations again to our new members. That is wonderful as always. And again, I want to mention Linda and her committee, who have done such a powerful job to really be welcoming in all ways and to nurture our visitors, our longtime people, and so on, and particularly for this welcome to new members. Now, I've been talking about gratitude for the last several weeks, and I'll talk about it a bit more today. We will not have time for conversation afterwards, so I'm sorry about that. It was a busy Sunday. Now, gratitude is really appropriate for the holiday season. Consider, the pace quickens after the sugar high of Halloween. We then move to the overstuffed feeling of Thanksgiving, moving very quickly to the fortitude of Black Friday. Then it gets better, because there is another month of driving around a shopping mall parking lots using a lot of fuel so that we can be within walking distance. Children will have carefully assembled their lists to help us appreciate their future gratitude. Dreams of iPhones and tablets, not sugar plums, will dance in many a head. Guys from all over North America will be scratching their heads at Bilo or Target on Christmas Eve, trying to remember if they created a gift list. And then on Christmas morning, for those who celebrate it, there will be a general stampede to the tree, followed by a sudden snowstorm of gift wrappings filling the air. Parents will urge younger people to slow down and be grateful for every gift. Meanwhile, they will be eyeing that one special "open me last" that carries much promise. It's not done even then. Then there's the day after Christmas Day, when the gifts that are too large or too small or completely the wrong color, parentheses, see the comment above about men at stores on Christmas Eve, are returned to the store so that there is credit given and a new adventure in anticipated gratitude begins all over again. I confess, I'm a cynic about the holidays. Now, not totally, because I enjoy them, but I am a little cynical. Now, I had that reaction also, particularly, to the North American approach to holidays, but particularly December holidays, particularly Christmas, on the day after Christmas 2004. Deborah and I had taken a train from Portland, Oregon to Vancouver, British Columbia on Christmas Day, and we stayed overnight at a lovely hotel there, downtown. The morning after Christmas is Boxing Day in Canada and the British Dominions, and we went out just in time to see hordes of people rushing to stores to exchange poorly planned gifts or get even more at deep discounts. In the meantime, the third largest earthquake in recorded history had struck the Indian Ocean early that morning with a tsunami. More than 230,000 people had or would die while people went about their shopping. It was quite sobering to watch two very different versions of gratitude at work. People, on the one hand, were coming out of stores specializing in expensive purses, showing off happily their new possessions. Other people who were battered and in shock spoke into a camera in Thailand, just thankful that they were alive. Now, does this mean that the gratitude of shoppers was shallow compared to the gratitude of the survivors in Thailand and other places? No. They're just different expressions for gratitude at different times. So I'm going to propose to you this morning that gratitude as a spiritual practice has three major components. There's gratitude for what we have had in the past. There's the gratitude that we have in this moment. And then finally, the gratitude for what we have, we hope we'll have in the future. Each of these aspects requires the other two to be balanced. To balance out our appreciation and thankfulness in life, we have to balance past, present, and future. So, gratitude for what we've had in life. Yesterday, I was thinking about how I came to Clemson back in July of 2010. I wouldn't probably have considered the South as a place to live and work. I am from the Pacific Northwest. Except that at that time, a relationship in my life had become very paramount. Deborah, my partner in Oregon, and I had really drifted apart in recent years, and many of you know I got involved with a woman I dated briefly 24 years ago who's in school in Atlanta. Shall I just say that the relationship was a profoundly flawed one, and it ended just over a year ago. Deborah and I reconnected out of some quite remarkable coincidences, and we are now happily involved in a love relationship 2.0. You and I connected to create what I consider at least a wonderful relationship, because I came here expecting one thing, but I've been given something else entirely. And it's a gift that I continue to be able to unwrap at my leisure every single day, and especially on Sundays. Now, I've also heard here that there is sometimes a yearning for the good old days at this fellowship, when you were more family-oriented and informal. And rapid change brings that to the fore. We remember with longing and appreciation the good old days. Those memories remind us about how important it was of what you did. You built this building in stages with blood, maybe, a lot of sweat, and money. You created the parking lot out there, which is eco-friendly, and you bought Founder's House. And then you reached into a larger community again and again to support those in need. In doing that for the 50-odd years of your existence, you set a standard. But the gratitude for the past cannot last forever. Time moves on. So now that brings me to the second, the gratitude for the present moment. Somebody asked me recently, "So, Alex, have you learned anything in the last 18 months? And I said, yes. The advanced interim training that I have, and will continue to have, a really superb mentor, has taught me more in 2 years about ministry than I had known in 15 years of interim work, in particular and ministry in general. Particularly, though, you have taught me a great deal, and you continue to. I am profoundly grateful to have come here, to have been invited here, and I can honestly say that I am blessed to know each and every one of you in whatever form I have been able to make that happen. Now, going from me, consider your own gratitude for this moment. Later this morning, you're going to have a congregational annual meeting to pass the budget and have some other action items. The budget process that I mentioned last Sunday in my service is never stress-free. It ain't going to happen. I've never seen it happen, and I don't think it's going to start today. What I did see here during the stewardship campaign, as Janet mentioned, and last Sunday's conversation about phase 2.0 of budget reconciliation was a norm. It's the determination and honest dialogue that you have when you are at your best as a community. And you've come a long way in 2 years. Has it been easy? No, not at times, but transitions aren't easy in life anyway. Has it been fun? Well, just to remind you of what I said one of my first services here, and I quote, so forgive me if this sounds tacky. It's going to be fun, goddammit, whether you like it or not. So, I hope there's been some measure of fun. I see a lot of new faces here. I hear of many projects from fertile imaginations, many of them applicable. I see the efforts for lingering hurt to begin being reconciled in ways that are healing and fair. All that work that you are doing now, including what you do today, is gratitude in the present moment. The budget you're going to vote on later is an expression of gratitude for this present moment. These treacherous economic times are hard. The expression of generosity for the presence and promise of this congregation says a great deal. It speaks to how appreciative people are that you can gather here on Sunday and live your ministry. Has it been easy, or have you been perfect? Or should I say, have we been perfect? No. And that's why I really like this poem by Mary Oliver, because she says, are my boots old? Is my coat torn? I am no longer young and am still not half perfect. None of us can escape our imperfections. But gratitude begins with the acceptance of who we are right now. But it can't end there, because then we don't grow. And she, Mary Oliver, continues in her poem by saying, let me keep my mind on what matters, which is my work, which goes back to her first line and the title of the poem, Messenger. So it is with all of us here. This fellowship is a messenger bringing words, deeds, songs, and hope to a world that desperately needs your message. If there is one thing I will say as many times as I can here, is that one statement. This fellowship is a messenger bringing words, songs, deeds, and hope to a world that desperately needs your message. This brings me to the third attribute of gratitude. What might we be thankful for in the future? Well, going back to myself for a moment, I have no idea where I'll be this time next year. I'd like to be in the Pacific Northwest to help Deborah with her school and continue interim ministry, but nothing's set in stone. I could be in Florida. I could be in British Columbia. I could be in Maine. Who knows? It'll be up to the events and a little bit of luck. What I do know is that I'm going to be taking a lot of lessons that I've learned and continue to learn here to my next posting. And for that, I am profoundly grateful and I will carry that gratitude into the future. I must be open to all possibilities without any judgment and without too many conditions. Again, it's like the gift that's being unwrapped, except I get to look at the box and wonder what's in it. And I don't know yet, and I probably won't know till late April. We must be open to whatever comes and be prepared as a community to deal with it. Now, I think this ability to express or plan for gratitude in the future is really essential. Because consider some of these questions. Who's going to stand here as your minister next year or 2 years from now? How will the religious education program become an all-ages lifespan program? What will be the mixture of faces here on Sundays, and will they speak of our work with gratitude? How will the welcoming congregation, as Cindy put so well, continue to blossom? And I would say not only welcome to people in the GLBTQ community, but whoever, liberal or conservative, Republican, Independent, Democrat, or others who are religious liberals and would follow our principles. Will you have a behavioral covenant for all friends and members so you know how to respond when disagreements happen? Because they will. Will your mission in the larger world reflect the new mixture of generations in this room? I'm sure there are a lot of other questions you could ask. There are no firm answers to any of those, except, well, really one. I think that there's one firm answer. Having come to know you as I do, and that is, I'd mentioned, will they speak? Will that mixture of faces on a Sunday morning speak to our work with gratitude? My answer is yes, they will. They will be filled with gratitude in their turn for what you and we, us, have done. They'll appreciate this building and a memorial garden outside, along with the powerful social justice work you do in the world. They'll marvel at how well you've come through some dark times, as all religious communities must do. They'll hear and remember how the Great Recession struck at retirement funds and medical costs, and people struggled deeply, more than you can imagine, even in this room, on how to make ends meet. But they'll also hear how you persevered and how you refused to be swept out to the sea of despair. As I said last Sunday, it's really your choice on how you're going to carry on in the world. What is your work? What is your ministry? Where's your power? Because empower is what it's about. That's part of gratitude too. It's going to be your choices. I want to show you, though, I want to read to you these final words by my colleague, Barbara Merritt. She says, gratitude is not the things you do or do not receive. Bless you. It's a relationship. That's what gratitude is. Some of us call the source of life and goodness and love by the name of God. Some of us call the sense of all life just a mysterious reality that can't be named. But there ought not be disagreement about our response to being imperfect. What we can do, she says, is we can pray to be given a grateful heart. That is grateful for the gift of life. That's grateful for the opportunities of every single day that comes to us. That we can be grateful for no matter how far we wander or how many times we stumble or fall down, gratitude will find us and we will be blessed. So, it's my hope, as from the first day I was here to beyond the last day when I leave, because I'll keep reading the newsletter, my hope is that gratitude in all its forms will be in this room. And I hope that its words always start with the most powerful words of all. thank you. May it always be so for a community that is so easy to love.